How's it going, everyone? Today we're looking at this awesome Hooniken car from Nifeliz. They sent me this set to share with y'all, so let's check it out. Warning, this set contains numerous unlicensed off-branded logos. Now, if you're a car fanatic, or even a random YouTube viewer, then you probably recognize this car. It's a 1/8 scale model of Ken Block's Hoonicorn version 2 Ford Mustang from the Hoonigan group. Now, obviously appears to be unlicensed since it says Hooniken rather than Hoonigan, along with some other fun off-brand logos. But if you can get past that, then this is a pretty awesome set. I don't really know much about Nifeliz except that I've seen them on Amazon, and their instructions have both English and German in them. This set has 3,141 pieces, and it is quite the technical build. I usually build buildings and city-style sets, so this was quite the change for me. Although I did have the first LEGO Technic supercar from back in the day, so I'm not a complete beginner. This set comes in a cool stylized box with all the piece bags divided in 2 groups. Each smaller bag is numbered for the steps it covers. However, it is hard to read, and I almost missed this very important detail. It also comes with a big printed instruction book with lots of nice photos of the finished set in it. Overall, the instructions are pretty good. The steps might be a tad small, but they're not bad. And they gray out the previous steps parts, which usually I like. However, with everything looking the same in Technic, it might require a little more attention while building. This car is pretty massive, and I'd guess on the same level as the modern LEGO Technic cars. It measures approximately 22 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 6 inches tall. So you might consider where you're going to display it before building it. The build process was probably pretty normal for a Technic style set. You're snapping random pieces together for hundreds of steps, and then somehow at the end it looks like a car. First you build up the core with the chassis and drivetrain. Then you add the suspension and engine. Next you build up the panels on the front end, and the rear end and roof. Finally, there are a ton of stickers to place to complete the look. However, I thought I'd show it off real quick without the stickers in case anyone might be interested in keeping it all black. I think it looks pretty cool this way, but in my opinion, the stickers really bring it all together. Overall, the build process was pretty decent. There were a few struggles here and there that I'll go into in a little bit, but nothing that would dissuade me from the set. But first, let's check out this awesome looking car. The car is a pretty good representation of the modified Mustang that's known as the Hoonicorn. If you're wondering, this is version 2 of the Hoonicorn, which modified the naturally aspirated V8 in version 1 by strapping on a couple of huge turbos to perform in the high altitude on America's premier hill climb up Pikes Peak in Colorado. The styling of the front and back definitely looks like a Mustang. The front has a blacked out grille and a big ground spoiler, and the front fascia comes to that iconic Mustang point. The rear has a big diffuser at the bottom, and then the angle of the spoiler and the taillights definitely say Mustang. The car sits low, and the raked roofline gives it a really aggressive stance, which I like. I think the rear pillars look a little off, maybe because of this corner here, or maybe the roof could have just been extended one more beam to the rear, but that's a small observation. The sides have a big scoop in front of the rear wheels, and some fin vents behind the front wheels. These look cool, but they angle towards the front a little, and in the real car we see they actually should be angled towards the rear. However, this is a super easy modification to make by just swapping the pieces on the left and right sides, barely an inconvenience. The angled side skirts might be a little wide, but I really like how they look. And there are silver exhaust tips in front of the rear wheels, which I don't think are on the real car. There's a pretty cool technique used for the 4 wheel fenders to give it that wide body look. You take a couple of these bendy axles, and then stack a bunch of 3-length beams on them. And they go into some holes that are offset to get that curve and the angled outlook. They're not perfect, as you can see some space between them and the body, most notably on the front, and they're a little finicky to get them to stay in place, but I think they do a pretty good job. The rims are definitely different on this set. The real car has mostly solid rims in white with a negative 5-spoke pattern. These 10-spoke rims in coated silver are pretty different, but still look good on the car. The front has the 2 big turbos in the silver color that have the exhaust angled up on the back where the flames would come out. I'm pretty sure the front of them should be white, and it's the truck that uses the red, but either way I think red looks cool too. And the turbos connect via pipes to the blower, which isn't quite as a smooth slope as the real one. I might try to modify that a little bit in the future. Opening up the hood, we dive into the dynamic features of the set. First one being, the hood opens. Inside we see the working 410 cubic inch V8 that gives the real car 1,400 horsepower with those twin turbos. The pistons go up and down as you would expect in a big Technic car. However, they're only sometimes working on mine. They move most of the time when I roll the car forward, but they don't move when it goes backwards. I was pretty careful when building and kept checking all the functions to make sure that they were all still working as I built, which they were. That is, until the end of the build. I think there might just be too much stress on the gears to work reliably. This set is a 4-wheel drive car just like the real one, with the front and rear differentials connected to the drive shaft. That might also contribute to the working issues. The front wheels turn with the steering wheel, or I should say that the steering wheel turns when you turn the front wheels. In theory it works the other way, but again, there's just too much stress on all the gears and they end up slipping most of the time. These issues don't really matter to me since I'll just have it as a display set, and I appreciate that they work in theory. Maybe more experienced Technic builders will be able to get them to work more reliably. The trunk also opens, and you can see the rear differential from here. Both of the side doors easily open up, and that brings us into the interior. There's a cool racing bucket seat on either side, and there's the big center column running between them, which I guess would house the drive shaft? There's the big handbrake in yellow and the shifter in red. The handbrake should probably be in pearl gold and the shifter in black, but they both look good as it is. The driver's side dash has 5 blank gauges, and the passenger side dash moves around a little too easily in my opinion. There's also the rear roll bar in the nice silver color again. Back to building the set, Nifeliz gives you 5 little storage boxes you fold together, which is cool, and I used them to hold all of the common parts. I'm not sure if it's typical or not, but there were 5 bags of common parts such as pins, axles, and 3-link beams that are used throughout the whole build. Most of the pieces in the set were pretty good quality. I had one bent frame piece that still worked just fine, and I had a 2-length axle with pin that was broken and prevented the shifter from attaching, but I just used an extra from my inventory. Some of the axle connections are definitely a tight fit and require some persuasion to slide together, but more annoyingly were a couple of loose connections I had. These red beams kept falling out of the steering rack, which was really annoying. I ended up just taping those together with some Scotch tape. And then one of the front wheel shafts kept falling out of the U-joint. I tried a longer axle, but that interfered with the suspension. This was ridiculously frustrating because there's just no room in there to fix it, thus requiring some disassembly every time. Ultimately, I resorted to the illegal hot glue gun. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, there's also front and rear spring suspensions. The rear works pretty well, but the front fenders hit the front tires, so they can't really travel at all. The front wheels also have this very slight camber towards the front, maybe because there are only connecting rods on the rear side of the hubs, I don't know. But they do straighten up with just a slight touch for display, so whatever. Finally, we get into all the stickers. It took a long time and a lot of focus to get them all on, but I definitely think it was worth it. Surprisingly, the set actually comes with 2 sets of stickers. You have the normal stickers, and you have a set of transfer stickers, where the sticker stays stuck to a clear front backer that you peel off after you've applied the stickers. The transfer stickers are great for the ones with separate components because it keeps the correct spacing, and also on the ones with letters because it won't have a black background. I used the normal stickers on the rectangular ones though because the printing looked a little sharper. There are 32 stickers in total with a lot of duplicates. There's the Hooniken logo, which obviously should be Hoonigan. There's the Eorza Horizon logo instead of Forza Horizon. This Nifeliz Block G-Bird logo replaces the Gymkhana Grid logo. The Monster Energy logo is almost the same, just without the little curved tops, which makes it look more like claw marks rather than an M. You have the Skull and Bones with the 43, and a huge number 43 on the roof. Kebo Performance replaces Ford Performance, and unfortunately there aren't any knockoffs for the big blue Ford logos that the real car has. My favorite sticker has to be the Pennzoil logo though, instead of Pennzoil. And then there's a KB on the rear, I assume honoring Ken Block. There are also some No Faux Tires stickers for the Toyo Tires logos that go on each tire. However, I left them off because I didn't think they would stick well to the rubber tires. This is a really great set. Sure, it has a few issues like the reliability of the functions and the whole unlicensed situation, but it looks awesome. It also only costs $130, which is crazy. Lego cars this size would sell for $350 or $400. I noticed it's unavailable on Amazon right now, but Nifeliz said more will be in stock any day now. So just check back with the links below if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed checking out the set with me. I definitely think it's an awesome one for the collection. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have any ideas for off-branded Ford logos I could make, be sure to share them. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.